The following is a presentation of the Marconi Feed Podcasting Network. Marconi Feed Podcasting Network.
Originating from mfpod.com.
And they can't fire us from the internet.
Only the government can fire us from the internet.
Yeah.
And you bet your bottom dollar they're trying.
Pantalones gratis.
Con Maccheroni Bologna.
Esto es Los Pantalones Libres de Podcast.
The Pants Free Podcast. Pantaloni Libero.
Hey, look, right over there. It's Nick Miles, and he's ready to do the Pants Free Podcast with me.
I have no pants on, and my legs are shaved, thigh high.
Hey, this is the podcast where we comment on your comments because you left us things to talk about on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook. So, Nick, let's go. Tumblr. First, let's go to Tumblr, and Earn That Burn asks Nick, what is your favorite movie?
That's a difficult question. I would say Dr. No is my favorite movie, the very first James Bond movie.
And okay, like, what's your favorite current movie?
Probably Skyfall.
So you've always been in love with James Bond since you were a little tyke?
I go between James Bond and Harry Potter.
Oh, where does the color purple fit into your globe of?
It doesn't. Oprah Winfrey has. There's no room in my life for any Oprah.
That's just sad. I thought I knew you.
Lunchy Prices says, Marconi, do you like noodles?
Do I? I love noodles so much. I would really love to write a musical about noodles, and I'm not even gay. So, do you have to be gay to write a musical? No, you don't. That's true. You don't, but you have to be gay to like them.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so what I'm saying is Noodles the musical. I don't even really like The Offspring, but I like them because there's a guy in it named Noodles.
Excellent.
Right?
But a guy named Noodles is always the best.
But what's that place called? I don't go to chain restaurants, and people think I'm crazy, but I like local food. But there's Noodles and Company, and I always look in the windows, and everybody in there looks like they want to die.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Noodles and Company, although I think they started in Denver. But they're not bad, but there are a lot better noodle company. The best noodles I ever had is from a noodle food cart down at 9th and Stark in Portland. And the guy makes the noodles fresh and then cooks them up. They're a little bit spicy, though, and they're really wide noodles. They're about 2 inches wide.
You know what noodles I love the best? Thai noodles, the Thai Orchid, downtown Portland. Or they have several locations, but the one on Burnside is my favorite.
Yeah, it used to be by your hovel, didn't it?
Yeah, right across the street from my old house. And I like the white-ass noodles. I think that's what it says on the number 81, no peanut, white-ass noodles, a little peanut sauce. Yum. And also, I like this place called Tokyo Joe's, and they do a really good. If you're going to have to go to a local chain, then that's a good one. But, yes, the answer is couldn't love noodles more. Thank you. Grabby Hands 21 asks, Nick, what's your favorite celebrity encounter?
This is a long story, but it's a good story. So many of you may know that I have been living with the same man for the last 100 years.
Your Honduran lover?
Yeah, Honduran lover.
Yeah.
And we were at an event once when I was working for a radio station, and I had to do sound check and do a bunch of stuff before the evening concert. And I'm there with the radio station doing stuff, and he's sitting at the front of the stage trying not to be bored, and he strikes up a conversation with the guitarist, and he's talking to this guitarist for about an hour and everything, and then so the show starts, and I introduce the band, and my part is done. I have a couple drinks, I stay for a few songs, and because I've been there like 4 hours at this time, I decided to go home. And on the way home, I said, "Do you know who you were talking to?" And he says, "No idea. I don't know music and celebrities and stuff." I said, "So you have no idea who you were talking to?" And he goes, "No, I don't. I really don't." I said, "Well, what did he do for a living?" He said, "Well, he was in a band with his brother, and he did a little bit of acting." And I said, "So if I told you that was Kevin Bacon, would that make any difference to you?" And he goes, "No, I don't know who Kevin Bacon is." He spent an hour and a half talking to Kevin Bacon, not knowing who Kevin Bacon was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my favorite celebrity encounter.
I love your Honduran lover. Is that okay with you?
It's definitely okay with me. There's plenty of Honduras to go around. Group Pick 86 says, Marconi, favorite cheese? Question mark.
Favorite cheese? Is there a non-favorite cheese? I think I love all cheese. There's really not a bad one. I mean, can you think of one that you hate, Nick? I can't.
Oh, yeah. I don't like blue cheeses.
I don't know. Who are you? I thought for a second, like, what? Blue cheese?
Yeah, I don't like blue cheeses. I'm opposed to the sharp taste of blue cheese, and it comes from an accident in my childhood. My dad used to get a Stilton wheel every year, and one year got a Stilton wheel, and I took a big chunk out of it, thinking it was like regular cheese, and put it in my mouth. And as a 7-year-old, you don't expect it to be moldy nastiness in your mouth, and I was shocked out of liking blue cheese forever. However, my favorite cheeses in order go like this. Top of the list is the Spanish cheese called Mahone. Second is Brie. And thirdly is goat soft cheese, usually crumbled on a salad.
I could list a million cheeses, but all you have to do is just Google cheese on the internet, and that is my list.
Excellent.
Now let's go to Twitter. Twitter. Soy Boy asks Nick, how many wigs do you own?
Well, funnily enough, I own quite a few. In fact, I have a box of wigs in my attic, and for two reasons.
This is why Nick and I are friends, by the way.
There's two reasons I have a big box of wigs in my attic. The second reason, which I'll do first, which is not the funniest, is that when I was living in the West Hills in that temporary house that Entercom moved us into.
Oh, yes.
When we moved out, accidentally the moving guys packed up several boxes of stuff which wasn't ours. And they contained Halloween costumes, mostly wigs. So I have a giant number of wigs in boxes, and some of them we've used together, like my Ozzy Osbourne wig, several other things. But the other reason I have wigs is one lonely day in 2002, my friend and I went to Bowtie to have lunch, and then we went to the Goodwill. And Marconi and I proceeded to buy wigs and glasses, and then we drove in the NRK Beetle up and down Broadway saying hello to everybody while we were wearing old lady wigs and glasses.
And this is before like YouTube. Otherwise, it would be all over the internets right now, but it's not. And it's a sad thing that we shot so much video back then, and we never really did anything with it.
Now, Tiny and I looked at them. We sat down actually at my house, and we went over some of the video, and let's just be glad that a lot of it didn't make on air.
Oh, you can burn those tapes.
yeah, definitely probably should, but they're some pretty fucking hilarious video. Here's one for you, Marconi, from Mustard Monkey. Mustard Monkey says, Marconi, what should I get my mom for Christmas?
You can't go wrong with an iPad. Oh, that's kind of a lot of money. Socks? Yeah, get it. My mom loves pajamas. You could.
Hey, that's a great idea, actually. Those pajamagrams. I mean, it does come up to, by the time you've invested them, they sort of start off about $35, and you end up and get to about $100 by the time you've shipping and all that sort of thing. But it's nice to get a little monogram pajamas for your mom.
Oh, that's what it is. I was thinking it was like a Chippendale dude comes to your mom's door and then like does a dance in her pajamas and then takes them off and she gets to keep them as a gift.
All right. If that was the truth, I'd be ordering pajamas every day.
Let's see. Burnt Toast asks Nick, what song did you last sing in your car?
Doo-bop. Doo-bop.
Oh, yeah.
Doo-bop. Doo-bop.
That's you're so fancy.
Marconi, what was your best concert of 2012? Asks Gum Show 503.
Well, Gum Show 503, gosh, so many. I mean, Nick, so many. I can't even. I'm going to go with two. The Shins, who are amazing every time I see them, and the Hives, who also are amazing. If you haven't seen the Hives and you love alterna music, you are denying yourself the greatest concert ever. They're just the best. They do everything. I mean, just look at my Facebook page. There are pictures from me at the Hives at the Red Rocks and the Shins and stuff, but the Hives come out in tuxedos, top hat, and they have this giant banner behind them, and it's like a puppeteer, and he's like puppeteering over the band, and it's like a crazy setup. And then they're just really good musicians, and they sound great, and their music's fun. And he's got a great big long giant microphone cord, and he walks out into the stage and the crowd, and it's awesome. So I would say that it would go number 2, The Shins, number 1, Hives. Bam, 2012 in a nutshell.
Love it.
Hey, Nick, it's time to go to Facebook. Facebook. Ronald Turner asks, Nick, what is the best Christmas song?
Last Christmas, I can't remember the words. It's sung by George Michael, but it makes me feel like birds are fluttering in my stomach. Very first time.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
That's
the very next day, you told me you were gay. Wait. Whoa.
The very next day, you threw me away.
That's your favorite Christmas song?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think. Or I also like Paul McCartney's one with the war is over.
I've never heard that one.
Dun, 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 dun. Simply having a wonderful
Christmas time.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Da-da-da-da.
And I'm not even, because me, I'm pretty burnt out on Christmas music, so I have taken off from listening to Christmas music for about the last decade or so. So maybe in a couple more years, I might start liking it again.
There you go. I love it. Christmas to me, it's what everything is all about in fun, good times. Kenneth Lamond asks you, Marconi, is your sister Tara really that crazy?
It's Tara, Nick. Don't you listen to the podcast? Gosh.
I'm English, remember. I pronounce it how I fucking want.
Yes, Kenneth, my sister is nuts. She's certifiable. And if you heard the Thanksgiving holiday special podcast with my family, you'll know just how crazy she is. Nick, if you haven't listened to it, I don't even know what life is about right now. Just because you're not on it, you don't listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll forgive you. But, while you're on your trips this time, I want you to definitely listen to all the podcasts and catch up and listen to the Thanksgiving holiday Marconi family special called Leftovers.
Love it.
You'll see just how fucking insane my sister is, and it's good times. And it's a short, Nick, and it's not even that long. It's like 4 minutes long.
Oh.
You're welcome. Peter Chapp asks, Nick, what was the last time you laughed so hard you cried?
I don't usually cry when I laugh so hard. What happens is I get cramps. And then it hurts to laugh. Like I get facial cramps or jaw cramps, those type of things. I think the last time I laughed so hard I nearly cried was when I watched Tiny trying to ride a bike.
Oh, yes. And if you're not familiar with Tiny, and if you're not, because there are people, what's great about this podcast is we get new listeners every single episode. And so when we refer to Tiny, he's a guy who is a friend of our show, and sometimes we'll have him on. He used to be the co-host with me and Nick and on the old radio show, and he was 400 pounds. He's since lost some weight, but he didn't know how to ride a bike, and there's a lot of things that are great about him, but come on. That's like, what is life? If you see a 400-pound man trying to get on a Schwinn and roll down the street, there's nothing but sweet amazingness to that.
That's amazing comedy value. Thank you, Tiny.
Yes. Do we have video of that anywhere?
No, I wish we did. I know, right? Final question for you, Marconi, from Jill Strussmer. She asks, how many times have your cats pooped today?
Oh, my God. The fact that I know that makes me want to FML. Okay.
I might have to put you on mute for a second so I don't heave. Go.
4.
What's up there?
What did I win? Well, there you have it, Nick. Another comments on your comments podcast. FAQs are always fine for you to ask. And if you just have things to say about the podcast, that's cool too. You can do it on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. It's all MF Pod. It's very simple to find, mfpod.com. And you can always listen to the podcast on, let me list them, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spreaker, and soon we're coming to a little thing called Stitcher.
Yay.
All of these